Namaskar. You are watching our innovative talk show, Enriching Life. Enriching Life. Whose life? My life, your life, and everybody's life. Life has to be enriched. Life has to be enriched because life has to be effective, meaningful, peaceful. And today our topic is lack of understanding. Lack of understanding. That means misunderstanding. And everybody knows how painful is this misunderstanding. It may be on any issue, on any event, or in any situation. It may be in our personal life, official life, or social life, whatever this thing else. Nobody wants to be victimized by this lack of understanding or misunderstanding. There's a difference. Not understanding is something different. Lack of understanding is something different. Suppose you are saying me something I don't understand. I will ask you, excuse me, can you repeat it again? Because whatever you have told you, I have understood 60%. So there is 40%, please tell me 1 second, I will try to understand. So a rapport is established and mind matching is there, and ultimately at the end there is understanding. But when there is a lack of understanding, whatever may be the reasons, that means misunderstanding starts. And the moment misunderstanding grows, and the gap between the mind and they becomes South Pole, North Pole. And for this lack of understanding in family life, professional life, a communication gap is created. And the relationship is broken, personal life is damaged, and this lack of understanding leads to depression, demotivations, and all negativity. Negative vibration is created. The relation becomes bitter, sour, and we cannot think of sometimes also to what extent it goes in damaging our life. It's so painful, so harmful. And somebody has rightly said, this misunderstanding is more dangerous than cancer disease. There are so many examples, even newly married couple, due to lack of understanding, they get divorced, separated. Though their marriage was a love marriage, they were in love for 3 years. Again, lack of understanding. But nobody won the responsibility that I am the reason for this lack of understanding. Everybody blames, you didn't understand me, you didn't understand me, you didn't understand me. Blaming game is very easy. And this misunderstanding or lack of understanding has become a very common event, common happenings in our personal life, professional life, social life, and sometimes also we are not in a position to understand ourselves. That means not understanding self. So let's see now, what are the reasons? What are the reasons of this lack of understanding? There are so many reasons. The first reason is that the lack of trust on self and others. If I don't have trust on myself and I do not have trust on you, so the misunderstanding starts. Because everything starts with a strong, bold willpower, self-confidence. That's the most important thing. I must trust myself. The moment I trust myself. And second thing is that the moment I do not have trust on myself, on yourself, then it comes, misunderstanding starts. So what happens? When our confidence becomes overconfidence, then when we become overconfident, oversmart, then ego comes. I know everything. What you will tell? I understand. Okay, fine. Means we do not allow the other person to speak with transparency and complete his speaking. We say, no, I know. Okay. These are the overconfidence and ego, I know attitudes. There's a small message we get always in maximum times in the WhatsApp. We do not listen to understand, rather we listen to reply. When somebody tells us something, we are in a hurry to reply. Means we don't have the patience. We do not have the patience to listen. That is active listening. What he is telling, don't go by the words, go by the meaning behind the words. He is telling or she is telling, there must be a message, there must be some purpose, some intention. But because we are overconfident, we have got ego, I know everything, so we don't have the patience to listen. Then it comes because it is another so many places, we are not serious. Our casual attitudes, casual and superficial attitudes. When you become casual, okay, ठीक है, I know. And several places, people for their casual attitudes and the superficial attitude, they are not serious in the beginning. But when the misunderstanding starts, when there is a lack of understanding, communication gap starts, when the damage starts, when it becomes painful, then they start realizing, repenting, sorry, I could not. Their voice changes, mood changes, because by that time already they have become affected, victimized, and which cannot be repaired. That's the things. That's why always we must realize that lack of maturity is another instance. We must be matured enough. What does it mean that matured mind? Means we should not be casual, we should not be childish, we should not be overconfident, we should not be taking others as granted. I know what you will tell, he is junior. No, you listen to things. Because so many times we underestimate others. I have so many years experience. But means I am not in a mood to listen. So active listening is not there. No patience to listen. No patience to understand. Always in a hurry. And sometimes it happens that due to a difference in the relation, difference in the position, we underestimate. Because I am the senior most. He is the junior most. So we do not give importance to listen, forget out to understand, to realize. So these are just some of the factors which creates a situation for not understanding. Because nobody by default wants to misunderstand somebody or to have that, to enjoy lack of understanding. But it happens due to our so many bad qualities. And the most important is our negative qualities, negative attitudes. Now let us look to the particular path of effective understanding. What are the steps? What is the action we have to be, or on which factors, issues, we have to be very careful in our conversation, communication, so there won't be any lack of understanding. The first is, in any conversation, the first is listening. Listen actively, that is active listening. Active listening is different from hearing. We are hearing a music and working. But while we are listening to somebody, it has 4 steps. We listen, understand, realize, then action. That means for listening, we should have the interest for listening. We should have that concentration on listening. We must have the liking to listening. So listen, understand, realize, and action. This is active listening. While we are listening to somebody actively, we are detached from the entire world. That is the most important things. Mind is not diverted. There is no question of an external factor which will disturb our listening. The most important thing. And this will happen when we will have positive attitude. This will happen when we will have positive attitudes. Because in positive attitude, once we have that positive attitude, under any circumstances, we will not be excited to misunderstand somebody. The lack of understanding will not come, because always we will try to find out the reason of my not understanding. Because in lack of understanding, generally we blame others. That I told this thing, I said, but he or she didn't understand. No. Let us convert it with a positive word. I could not make him understand. Instead of blaming that I said so much, I said nicely, I described nicely, but he didn't understand me. No. Perhaps I could not make him understand. This is positive attitudes. And if we have positive attitudes, we will definitely respect to others' thought, view, feeling, action. Anybody who is expressing, it may be negative, but we must honor that his or her views, thought, feeling, action. So that in that we try to understand what is the meaning behind his talk, words. Something may be there. Once we respect, we will not misunderstand. Once we respect, we will never underestimate, we will never neglect, we will never ignore. That is the most important thing in so many cases. We just ignore it. We underestimate it. So this thing, and another thing is that while we are listening to somebody, we must observe the body language, non-verbal language, because somebody is saying yes in verbally, word. But his face indicates, the expression in the face says no. So once we observe the gesture, posture, the body language is maximum, is more than the verbal words. So we must observe the body language. Another thing is that whenever we are talking to somebody or we are listening from somebody, let us check up my understanding level. Let me check up myself. Did I understood well? Whatever he or she has told, did I understand? Let me check up, that is self-audit. Have I understood well? If I have not understood, why I could not, what is the problem, technical jargon or difficult words or something indirectly, then I will ask for clarifications. That is feedback. Never feel hesitant, never feel shy. If I ask, he or she may think me otherwise, understand me, misunderstand me. No. So check up your understanding level and then ask for clarification. Excuse me, can you explain me this thing else? So in any communications, active listening, and you must have the patience and the positive attitude, no negative understanding, honoring others, observe the body language, and the last thing is that whenever you are not able to know, check up, ask it, ask for clarifications. Because the moment you ask for clarifications, the other party will be glad, delighted to describe, and at the end, there is understanding. So, I am hopeful that whatever I have told, you are not having the lack of understanding. You must have understood me well. If you feel that we are adding values to life, let's share it, spread it, and create an atmosphere, climate of proper understanding. Thank you very much. See you next time. Namaskar.